Planning to visit Australia? Whether you're dreaming of exploring the Sydney Opera House, cuddling a koala, or just enjoying the stunning beaches, the first step is getting your tourist visa. In this video, I'll guide you step by step on how to apply for an Australian tourist visa, Subclass 600. I'll cover everything from the requirements to the application process and some important tips to avoid getting delayed. In the end, I will walk you through how I applied for a tourist visa for my relatives in the Philippines. So if you're planning a trip to Australia and want to make sure that your visa gets approved without any delay, stick around. Let's get started. Good morning, good night, and anything in between. Welcome to my channel. Just before we go ahead and apply for a tourist visa, I'd just like to encourage you to go through the immigration website first and familiarize yourself with the type of visa that's available for you. So some countries, they only require an ETA or a e-visitor subclass 601. So you don't need to go through the whole process of what I'm going to teach you later on. So if you just go through, if you just type on your browser www.homeaffairs.gov.au, and then you could see just on the website. So once you get into that website, you can click on the visa, and then you can type in the sort of visa that you might require. So for us, we are just going for a tourist visa. So in here, it tells you, the website will tell you the options for visiting. So you've got either a holiday, visiting a family, transit, working holidays, and all that. So if you just go ahead, and so it's just telling you want to visit, and then it'll ask you for the type of passport that you carry. So just for the purpose of this tutorial, I'll go to the Philippines, and for Filipino travelers, you have 3 options. So you've got a visitor visa, tourist stream, apply outside Australia, tourist stream, apply in Australia, or you've got a frequent travelers stream. So if you apply within Australia, the cost or the application fee is $490. So if you apply, so this I think applies for those that are currently in Australia and perhaps a bridging visa. And so what we're going to apply for is a tourist stream and applying outside Australia. So just also, it's good to note that you can allocate someone to apply the visa for you. You can nominate someone to apply the visa for you, and all you have to do is just to put on the form that you've nominated that person. So we will go through that later on, and I'll show you. So once you get to the tourist stream, apply outside Australia, you can check your eligibility. And for this visa, you need to meet the health requirements, meet the character requirements, pay your debt to the Australian government, you have enough money, be a genuine visitor, and best interest of a child. Just for what I was talking about earlier, the other type of visa that you can get. So if you just go to home again, and you will see, you will get to the immigration and citizenship page of the website. You just go to visas, and you can select getting a visa, and you can type in the list of all visas available. Then you can click visitor visa, and it will show you what sort of visa is available for a visitor. So you've got the Electronic Travel Authority Subclass 601, e-visitor Subclass 651, you've got the Transit Visa Subclass 771, the Visitor Subclass 600, Work and Holiday Visa Subclass 462, and Working Holiday Visa Subclass 417. If you want to know more details about the certain visa, or you think you qualify for that visa, then you just click on it. And so just now I've clicked on the Electronic Travel Authority, so ETA, and you can check here all the information about this visa, the processing time, how much it costs, and how long you can stay if you are on this visa. It's just important to know that you have to check your eligibility. And the first thing that will come up is have an eligible passport, and then you click on the details. So it will list, with this, it will list all the passport that is available for this visa. So it's mainly in Europe and some part of Asia. So just go through it. They are in alphabetical order, and just check whether your country belongs to this, and all the other requirements are listed underneath. So that's for that, and we'll just go back and I'll show you what is the e-visa as well. So visa list, and I'll just show you quickly what's in the e-visitor subclass 651. Again, you just check your eligibility, and you click on the eligible passport, and again it will list all the country that is listed on, like, that is eligible to apply for e-visitor subclass 651. So this is mainly European countries. I don't think I've seen any Asian country in here, so it's mainly just European country. And it says here, you cannot apply with a non-citizen passport, certificate of identity, or other travel documents, including a titre de voyage, or a British national overseas, British dependent territory, citizen overseas, and all that passport, if you are from this country. Okay, so now that we've orientated ourselves with the type of visitor visa that you can apply for in Australia, so we're going to go ahead and try to apply for a visa, for a tourist visa. So we're going to apply for a visitor visa subclass 600. Okay, so just with this, you need to make sure that you qualify, or you have the required documents before you apply. So like I said, we are on the visitor's visa subclass 600, which is a tourist stream, and we are applying outside Australia. So this visa stream lets you visit Australia as a tourist, to go on a cruise, or to visit family and friends. You can stay up to 12 months with this visa, and it costs $195 to apply. The processing time, for an indication of processing times for this visa, use the visa processing time guide tool. This will show the processing time for recently decided application. It is a guide only and not specific to your application. It also says here, we might grant you a stay of 3, 6, or 12 months. You can visit friends and family, cruise or have a holiday, and you must be outside Australia when you apply and when we decide your visa. So there is also, like I said earlier, you can apply if you are in Australia, but it's very similar to the one outside Australia, but the processing cost is a lot more, so it's $490. It says here, if you hold another visa that is expiring and want to stay longer, this visa might suit you. So this is probably the difference with the two. So there is also just so you don't get confused, there is also a sponsored family stream visitor visa, subclass 600. So it says that this visa stream lets people who are sponsored, usually by a family member, come to Australia to see their family members. You can stay for up to 12 months, and the cost is also $195, but they might ask your sponsor to pay a security bond. The processing time, it says that you have to use the processing time guide tool, and you must be sponsored by an eligible family member who is an Australian citizen or permanent resident. We might ask your sponsor to pay a security bond, and you must be outside Australia when you apply and when we decide your visa. So we'll just click on the details for the sponsored family stream, and it gives us a little bit more detail on what we can do. See, we'll just click on the see all conditions. Okay, can't find anything on the condition. So just eligibility. Let's just find out so you must have a sponsor and intend to come to Australia as a visitor only. I just want to know whether there's information about who can be a sponsor. So let's just have a look. So okay, so if you click on the details, it tells you all the requirements for this visa. And it says meet our health requirements. It is very similar to the subclass 600, just applying outside Australia, but with an added thing, you have a sponsor. So you must have a sponsor for this visa, and we'll just click on the sponsor eligibility tab just to see who can actually be a sponsor. So be suitable to sponsor, and then we'll just put in details. And you may sponsor a visa applicant if you are a relative of that visa applicant, or you are a relative of a person classed as a member of the family unit of that visa applicant, and that person is also applying, or that visa applicant is classed as members of the family unit of a person who is also applying, and you are a relative of that person. To be a relative, you must be either partner, parent or child, brother or sister, grandparent or grandchild, aunt or auntie, niece or nephew, the step equivalent of the above. A sponsor cannot be a fiancé or fiancée, in-law, cousin, friend, or a New Zealand citizen. So it's all in here. So all the details about visa application is actually on the website. You can also ask a question from the bot if you are still confused, or there is a helpline that you can contact, or that you can dial if you are still confused. I actually did that because I was confused between the sponsored family and just a visitor visa when I was applying for my cousins. So I did ask them, and I've explained to them, and they have explained to me the difference very, very clearly. So I've actually found them, and they're very nice over the phone as well. So we're just gonna go ahead now and apply for the visa. Just to repeat, you need to make sure, just to avoid any delays, you need to make sure that you have all the required documents before you apply. So you will need a valid passport. You also need a proof of financial capacity, which is bank statements, payslip or tax returns. Also, you need a travel itinerary. It shows your planned flights and accommodation, a letter of invitation. If you've got a family that's family or friend that's currently living in Australia, you can get them to give you a letter of invitation, and employment or student proof. So this is required because you need some sort of proof that you will intend to go back to your home country or where you came from after your visa or just before your visa expires. So if you are also self-employed, you need to provide your business permit and statement of income and all that stuff before you on your application to support your that you are a real tourist and intending to go back. So we are going to apply now. So to apply, you need to have an ImmiAccount. So on the same website, there is a tab there that says ImmiAccount on the right hand side, and then it says to create ImmiAccount. So you go ahead and create that ImmiAccount. So it's password protected, and it confirms your email address as well. So you make sure that you have an access to the email address that you are going to put on your account. Also, the requirement for password, it's quite long, so I think at least it's 14 letters, characters, and you must have an uppercase, lowercase, special characters, and numbers. So just think about that before you go ahead and create your account. So we're going to go ahead and log in once you've got your account. And just for the purpose of this tutorial, I will pretend to put in an application. So I will go through all the questions and all that, but of course I will not be submitting them. Okay, so I will do a fake person when I'm going to do this. Okay, so it tells you then you just click on a new application, and then you go ahead and click for visitor. So we are going to apply for a visitor visa, 600 here, and it takes you to the terms and conditions. So go ahead and have a look at the terms and condition, and then you go back and then view the privacy statement as well, and make sure that you read that. And then once you have read and agreed to the terms and condition, you hit the next button. So is the applicant currently outside Australia? And then you will say yes, because we are applying outside Australia. And you need to give their current location of the applicant and their legal status at this location. So just for the purpose of this tutorial, I would say that person is in the Philippines, and the legal status is that person, or my person is a citizen. And then it will ask you the purpose of the stay. Select the stream the applicant is applying for. So it's either a business visitor stream, frequent traveler stream, sponsored family stream, or a tourist stream. So I will be applying for a tourist stream, although because he's a family member, I would supply a letter of support, so just to make the application stronger. But it not necessarily mean that I have sponsored him to come. So I will go with the tourist stream. Once application has been lodged, the stream cannot be changed. For more information on each stream, click on the help icon above. So list all reasons for visiting Australia. So it's just for tourism, and then I'm gonna put in also as a family visit, because we intend to just for this purpose, I intend to see my cousin when he comes here. Give details of the significant dates on which the applicant needs to be in Australia. So at the moment, let's just assume that he will be spending Christmas here. So I will just be putting December 1 to January to let's just say January 15 to December 15 to January 5. Okay, that's that. Group processing. So at the moment I am only applying for one person, but if in case you need to apply for multiple, if they have a family and it's a family that's going to come, then you can put in a group processing here. You can just click on that and then have a look at what you will need to put them on a group. So I won't do that. So at the moment I will just put not part of the group, so I will put no. Special category of entry is applicant traveling as a representative of foreign government or traveling on a United Nations license baza. Anyway, I have no idea what that means. But yes, it's a no. And then it's a next. And then enter the following details as they appear on the passport. So let's just pretend this is Mr. Mango and his name is Green. It's a male, and date of birth is the 1st of the 1st 2000. Passport number, so I'm just going to pick a random passport number. 4444. Country of passport is Philippines. Nationality of passport holder is Philippines as well. Date of issue, I'm just gonna put 11th of October. Let's just say 1st of the 1st 2023. Date of expiry is 31st of December 2033. 32. Place of issue is Manila. And it says it is strongly recommended that a passport be valid for at least 6 months. Does the applicant have a national identity card? And I'm gonna put no. The Australia Pacific card is issued through an invitation process to Pacific leaders. If the applicant does not hold the Pacific Australia card, select no for this question. Is the applicant a Pacific Australia card holder? Of course, no. Place of birth, I will put Manila, Philippines, Manila, Metro Manila. Country of birth is Philippines. Relationship status, he is a de facto. Is the applicant currently or have they ever been known with any other name? I'll put no. Citizenship, if the applicant a citizen of the selected country of the Philippines? Yes. Is the applicant a citizen of another country? No. Previously traveled to Australia, has the applicant previously traveled to Australia? It's a no. Has the applicant previously applied for a visa to Australia? No. Does the applicant have an Australian visa grant number? No. Other passports or documents for travel. Does the applicant have any other passports or documents for travel? And no. Other identity documents. Does this applicant have any other identity documents? No. Has this applicant undertaken a health examination for an Australian visa in the last 12 months? No. And then next. Then critical data confirmation. All the information provided is important to the processing of this application. And then just to confirm that this is all correct. Is the above information correct? I will put yes, just because this is a pretend one. And let's go ahead and go to account. Okay. So now we are not able to go ahead because it picked up that that green mango is not a real person. So we're just gonna go ahead and exit now. And then it's gonna ask you to confirm whether this application if they are all correct, and then you're going to confirm that it is correct. Then the next question would be, each person, it's going to ask you the other person traveling with the applicant. So you will say whether that person is going to come to Australia with another person, either a yes or a no. And then if you say yes, then you have to list the person that's coming with the person that's applying for a visa. Then it will ask you the contact details, your contact details. So it will ask you the country of your residence. It says also that then next it will tell you that there's an information that they will tell you that the applicant may be required to attend an Australian government office for an interview. It'll ask you which is the closest office to the applicant, so they can come to the Australian government office if required. And then there's a selection of the cities where you can go to if that's the closest, and you'll just have to elect that. Then you will write down your current residential address, your contact details, and they'll ask you whether that detail is the same for posting, and then you either say yes or no. Then it'll ask you for an email address. For the if you are applying for someone, because for this instance I am applying for my cousin to come, and I have elected myself as the person to organize everything. So I'll put in my email account, so I will get the correspondence. And then it'll ask you for an authorized recipient. Does the applicant authorize another person to receive written correspondence on their behalf? This authorizes the department to send the authorized person all written correspondence that would otherwise be sent directly to the applicant. And for the purpose of this application, it's a yes to another person, and then it'll ask you the details of that authorized person. So for that, for this application, that authorized person is myself. So I'll put in my contact details, my full name, contact details, my home address, and my email address. So it says also the department prefers to communicate electronically, as this provides a faster method of communication. All correspondence, including notification of the outcome of the application, will be sent to, and then you'll nominate an email address, and that email address I will be putting in would be the authorized person, because like I said, I am making I am submitting the application. And then the next question will be the details of the non-accompanying members of the family unit. So does the applicant have any members of their family unit not traveling to Australia who are not Australian citizens or Australian permanent residents? And then you will obviously select yes, because hoping there'll be other family members left. So you could list so with this, the requirement would be anyone that is dependent on you, anyone that you live with, and so you have to list them. So it could be your brothers, sisters, if they are currently living with you, your mother, sisters, your children, if they are currently living with you. So you have to list them down. So you need to list down your relationship with them, their full name, their date of birth, and where they are born, their country of birth. Then it'll ask you about your entry to Australia. So it'll ask you for the proposed period of stay. The question will be, does the applicant intend to enter Australia on more than one occasion? So you can select yes or no if you are planning to stay or come and go within a year. So just for this application, I'll put no, because the intention is just for them to come during Christmas. But of course, the Australian government or the immigration will decide on whether to grant you a single entry or multiple entry. But I will just be putting no. How long does the applicant plan to stay in Australia? I'll just put up to 3 months, and it'll ask you for the planned arrival date and planned final departure date, and you'll just put that. So for this purpose, I'll just put 15th of December and leaving on the 5th of January. Study while in Australia. Will the applicant undertake a course of study in Australia? Then you'll put no if you're not studying. Relatives, friends, or contact in Australia. Will the applicant visit any relatives, friends, or contact while in Australia? And I will put yes, because we are here and my cousin's going to see us. Then I'll ask you the relationship to the applicant, which is cousin, and then you have to put in the detail of yourself if that is you, and so that includes your residential address, mobile phone number, and your email address. Also, we'll ask you about your Australian residency status, if either you're Australian citizen or permanent resident. And then if you have multiple family member or multiple family in Australia, just list them down, so it just makes it stronger. And then it'll ask you for your employment details, so current employment status, and then it'll ask you the financial, how are you going to fund your stay, details of how give details of how the applicant's stay in Australia will be funded. So if either self-funded or someone else will be paying for you, what funds will the applicant have available to support their stay in Australia, and then you have to list details of your fund, and then what follows will be the health declarations. So in the last 5 years, has any applicant visited or lived outside their country of passport for more than 3 consecutive months? Do not include time spent in Australia. Does the applicant intend to enter a hospital or health care facility, including nursing home, while in Australia? Does any applicant intend to work as or study or train to be a healthcare worker or work within a healthcare facility within Australia? Does any applicant intend to work, study or train within aged care, disability care while in Australia? Has the applicant ever had or currently have tuberculosis, been in close contact with a family member that has an active tuberculosis? And you have to answer all these questions. Does any applicant expect to incur medical costs or require treatment or medical follow-up for blood disorder, cancer, heart disease, hepatitis B or C, and or liver disease, HIV infection including AIDS, kidney disease including dialysis, mental illness, pregnancy, respiratory diseases that has required hospital admission or oxygen therapy, and any other. You have to answer that truthfully. And does any applicant require ongoing medical care or need special equipment, assistive technology, or assistance from others for daily living? Then there will be a character declaration. If the applicant answers yes to any of the character declaration, they must give all relevant details. For combined application, state which applicant declaration applies to. If the matter relates to a criminal conviction, provide the date and nature of the offense, full details of the sentence, dates of any period of imprisonment or any detention. Has any applicant ever been charged with any offense that is currently awaiting legal action? Has any applicant ever been convicted of an offense in any country, including any conviction which is now removed from official records? Has the applicant ever been the subject of a domestic violence or family violence order or any other order of a tribunal or court or other similar authority for the personal protection of another person? Has any applicant ever been the subject of an arrest warrant or Interpol notice? Has any applicant ever been found guilty of a sexually based offense, including a child, including where no conviction has been recorded? Has any applicant ever been named on a sex offender register? Has any applicant ever been acquitted of any offense on the grounds of unsoundness of mind or insanity? Has any applicant been found by a court not fit to plead? Has any applicant ever been directly or indirectly involved in or associated with activities which would represent a risk to national security in Australia or any other country? Has any applicant ever been charged with or indicted for genocide, war crimes, crimes against humanity, torture, slavery, or any other crime that is otherwise of a serious international concerns? Any applicant ever been associated with a person, group, or organization that has been or is involved in criminal conduct? Has any applicant ever been associated with an organization engaged in violence or engaged in acts of violence, including war, insurgency, freedom fighting, terrorism, protest, either overseas or in Australia? Has any applicant ever served in a military force, police force, state-sponsored private militia, or intelligence agency, including secret police? Has any applicant ever undergone any military, paramilitary training, been trained in weapons, explosives, or in the manufacture of chemical, biological products? Has any applicant ever been involved in people smuggling or people trafficking offenses? Has any applicant ever been removed, deported, or excluded from any country, including Australia? Has any applicant ever overstayed a visa in any country, including Australia? Has the applicant ever had any outstanding debts to the Australian government or any public authority in Australia? So you have to answer all those questions truthfully because this is a declaration. Visa history. Has the applicant held or does the applicant currently hold a visa to Australia or any other country? Has the applicant ever been in Australia or any other country and not complied with visa conditions or departed outside Australia outside their authorized period of stay? Has the applicant ever had a visa for Australia or any other country refused or cancelled? Then also you have to answer truthfully because this is a declaration. Then the final declaration. So I won't go through all these final declaration, but pretty much you have to answer either a yes or a no. Then you will need to load your supporting evidence. So you need to put in evidence of your financial status. I will be putting in tax return, your pay slip. If you've got a business, you need your mayor's permit, bank statement. So gather all your bank accounts and just put in the last 6 months of that bank account and make sure it's detailed transactions because they don't just want to look at the final amount. They want to know how the ins and outs are going into the account as well. And for this visa, I will also be putting in statutory declaration just to say that I will be supporting part of their stay here in Australia. So I will be putting that in. Also put in on your application plane ticket that you bought. Just with the plane ticket, if you're going to buy them already, make sure they are refundable. So because in case your visa doesn't get approved, at least you can get your money back, or you can just move it to another time when maybe another year. And also put your itinerary here as well. With this application, I intend to support their stay here in Australia. So I will be putting in statutory declaration saying that I am an Australian citizen. I would also mention that I am a good employee. So I will state how many years I have been employed in that company just to prove that I'm of good character. Then I will also be providing my tax return. So my income statement to prove that this is this is how much I get paid and I'll be able to support. And also will be providing my bank statement as well. So just the same for their application, I will also be providing 6 months worth of bank statement just to prove that I don't just inflate the money in the account. So there's actually activity on the account for a while, even prior to this application. So that is pretty much how you apply. And then you will submit. Once you've got all those information, then you can hit submit, or you can submit your application. It will be asking for payment because you cannot lodge your visa until you pay for the visa fee. So it will ask for either your credit card, PayPal, and yeah, so you have to do that, and then you hit the submit button, and then it will get your payment. Then it will automatically send you an acknowledgement receipt of your payment, and also acknowledgement of your application. So with the application, it takes about 2 weeks, at least 2 weeks for them to look at your application. I suppose it depends on how long or how many applications there is that they're dealing with. When I looked at the visa, the processing time, it tells me that it's about 2 weeks, 2 to a month before you can get the visa result. And then before you go ahead, just to make sure as well that you check your email constantly, because they will not be calling you. They'll just be emailing you correspondence, or if there's any other requirement for you to submit. And you need to make sure that you check your email, because most of the time if they require anything from you, they will it's a timed requirement, so they will only give you 7 days to submit the requirement, and after that then they will delete your application. So just make sure that you check your email regularly. Depends on which country or you are applying from. They might ask you to do a biometrics. So in the Philippines, there's VFS, I think. It's a global processing center where they will have to get your biometrics. So you have to pre-book that, and you can get the scheduled time or the schedule through the website. It comes with a cost. I think it's 900 pesos to get the biometrics, and you need to pay them in cash as well. So they won't be giving you any receipt of the biometrics, but they will submit it on the website. So that's how you apply for Australian tourist visa. So just recently I've actually applied for a tourist visa for my family back home in the Philippines. So it's so I applied for my auntie, for her son's de facto, for her for their child, and also for another cousin that's currently also on a de facto relationship. So those are the so I applied for them as a group, and my cousin who owns a business is the main person, or the main applicant, and I've just connected all their application through to him. Just a quick note on applying for a group visa. Don't be worried that if one person fell or one person didn't get approved, it doesn't mean that the rest of the group will be denied. That was the query for me when I was putting in my application for the 5 of them, because my cousin, who's currently not working and on a de facto relationship, I was worried that she won't be able to satisfy the requirement to come to Australia, despite me providing a statutory declaration as a support for her application. So that's why I made a phone call to immigration, just to ask whether my other relatives' application will be affected if one doesn't come through, and they've assured me that they will approve they will grant the visa according to the person's merit, and not because they're in a group. So yes, I went ahead and applied as a group for them. So my cousin has his own business, who has a de facto relationship and currently living with his mom and obviously their daughter. It's their visa that got approved, but unfortunately my other cousin, who is about my age, didn't get granted the visa because couldn't prove that she has a strong tie in the Philippines, because she's currently unemployed and only has a de facto relationship. She's got 3 kids, but they are independent already. So they're like the youngest is about 23 years old. So they just don't think that she would have a reason to go back to the Philippines. So unfortunately her visa was not granted. So they did comment that they have looked at my statutory declaration and letter of support for her stay, but they still don't think that she's a real tourist and she has a strong tie in the Philippines. So she's the only one who didn't get granted, but the other 3 had multiple entries. So my auntie, my cousin, and his de facto has a multiple entry, but their daughter actually just got a single entry. Before they granted her visa, there was a few requirements that we have to submit, because her parents are not married and they need to have a proof that she's the child of my cousin. And also her birth certificate was submitted late, and that was questioned, and they've asked why her registration was delayed. With her, it took almost a month to get her visa processed and granted, because there's a lot of back and forth with all the information they're asking. Anyway, so I hope you've learned something from this this tutorial about applying for a tourist visa in Australia. So it's a tourist visa, subclass 600. So I hope this has inspired you to come and visit Australia and enjoy the magnificent view in Australia, the stunning beaches, and the beautiful weather here. So if you do like this content, or if you just want to hear more from me, please hit the notification bell at the bottom or subscribe to my channel. But for now, it's me, truly wonderly yours. Hanggang sa muling pagtatagpo. Bye!